Yo, what's going on, guys? This is your boy BLS. Today I'm actually going to talk about something that happened a couple weeks ago. I wanted to keep it on the DL until like phase 5 died down, because not a lot of you actually know what happened. Alright, first of all, today started off pretty shitty. I actually got no sleep. I just can't sleep, and my sleeping schedule is so screwed up, and I'm just trying to get it all back together so I'm not sleeping. And then after work I'll probably be completely dead. So then after tonight my sleeping schedule will actually be back on track. So 2 Mondays ago, which is on the 9th, there was a lot of hype going on. Phase 5 was going on, and to basically sum it up is I got swatted. If you guys don't know what swatting is, it is a troll or a prank. You know, someone calls and tells some ironic ass story to get the police or the cops called on you. So, you know, the police or the SWAT team or whoever has to do their job, show up, take as much precaution as they can. And I live in a pretty small town, and for this to be heard of is pretty shocking. No one really is like heard of shit like that happening in their town or around here, you know, even in Indiana. Basically, I keep thinking make news. Basically what happened was, I'm sitting in my room. It's about 11 o'clock at night on a Monday. My mom has to work. My mom has to work the next day, and it's about 11, and I got a call from my neighbor saying there's about 6 cop cars outside my house. If you live around here or you live here, there's like usually like 2 or 3 cops on duty, and there were 6 cop cars at my house at once. Like, that's how serious this matter was. And basically, I go downstairs to check it out, and they all are spotlighting my house. And it was pretty freaky at the time, because I really didn't know what to do. And see, my first instinct was to go outside and figure out what was going on. But, like, for some reason, it didn't input in my mind what was going on. And, like, that this actually could be a serious matter. Well, I look out in the window, that one that they aren't spotlighting, and there's a guy, like one of the officers sitting down. He has his pistol drawn, and he's like kind of like kneeling down. So I was like, what's going on? Like, I'm not a criminal, I don't do anything wrong, what's going on? So basically, I'm sitting here, look out the window, and they start, like a couple guys start coming up to the front porch, and I just kind of back away. I don't know what the hell is going on. I wake my mom up, like, Mom, there's cops outside. You know, a couple of them have their guns drawn. I don't know what's going on. So she wakes up, and she sees it, and all you hear is boom, 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 someone knocking on my door. Now remember, nothing like this happens around here. Like, basically, if the cops get involved with anything serious, it's drugs. We have like the worst drug dealers around here. Like, our county is the worst for meth. So many people in our area get caught for meth, but that's not the point. But basically, he knocks on my door, and I was afraid to answer because I knew a couple of them had guns. And when the cop knocked on the door and I looked out the window, I knew exactly what was happening then. And I just was like, you have to be shitting me. I cannot believe this is happening to me. I cannot believe this. So basically, the cop knocked on the door and was like, basically, he didn't say anything, like, because I was confused. And he knocked on the door because I was sitting right next to it. So as soon as he knocked on the door, I unlocked it and I slowly opened it. And there he was. Like, basically, when you open my door, there's like 5 feet until the first stairs. And there's 3 stairs. And you have like a little sidewalk, an L sidewalk. And then you have my front yard and all that. And basically, there he was sitting there with a shotgun on my staircase. It just got really intense there. He didn't point his gun at me, so don't get me wrong. He didn't point his gun at me. But it just got intense. Put your hands to where I can see them. And, you know, I just walk out, and I'm trying so hard not to laugh because I know exactly what happened. I know I'm totally innocent. So I walk out, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, it's one of those things where you get embarrassed and you start laughing because you know your friends are like watching. And you're just sitting there, and I'm just sitting, oh my God. So I walk out like this, put my hands up. And they pat me down, make sure I don't have any guns and shit on me. And they're like, alright, so we're going to need you to turn around, face your house, and we're going to need you to get on the ground slowly. So I got on the ground slowly, and like I kind of looked to my right, and there's a couple guys sitting there. Everybody had their guns drawn. Every single person has their guns drawn. And I'm sitting there, and they asked me to get on the ground, and then 2 cops hop on me, not really like intensely, but they cuff me. But 2 cops get down, make sure that I can't, you know, run away or squirm or anything, and they cuff me. At this point, I'm just thinking, what in the hell is going on? Like, why am I getting cuffed? And at this point in time, I'm literally the only one outside. My mom is still inside the house because she's afraid to come out. She doesn't know what the hell is going on. But my mom's sitting inside. I'm outside, laying on the ground, laying in my front yard, getting handcuffed. The cop with the shotgun, who's actually friends with my dad, you know, he's sitting here, has a shotgun on, bulletproof vest, he's sweating. They were prepared for some serious shit to be going down. He was sitting here and he's like, is there anybody else in the house? So, you know, he's sitting here while I'm cuffed. There's 2 cops behind me. There's like 3 or 4 over here. There's another one over here. There's one up on a porch. And then there's his name is Brandon. My dad knows him. And he's like, is anybody else in the house? And I'm like, my mom. So as soon as I say that, they're like, ma'am, step out. And she comes outside. They're like, we're gonna need you to come out to the front yard, all that. And she's like, no, I'm in my pajamas. And like, and he goes up to her and he's like, ma'am, are you all right? And she's like, what's going on? Like, why do you have my son handcuffed? And then he says, we just got a call saying that this suspect shot both of his parents in the head with an AR. And I'm sorry, I started laughing. I know it's a super serious matter, but I started laughing. Like, who makes that up? Like, who calls that in and makes that up? So these cops are like making sure my parents are okay. My mom's like, yeah, I'm fine. I was sleeping, and he's like, where's your dad at? Because the cop knows my dad. And I was like, my dad lives on the other side of town. He's not even here. My mom calls my dad right after they ask that. My mom, you know, over exaggerates everything. She's like, they have Brad in handcuffs. You need to get over here as soon as possible. So my dad lives about 1 mile or 2 from where my mom lives, and he had to hightail it over there because by the time she called him and got off the phone with him, they had me roll over, stand up, and he pulled in the driveway. Like, she got off the phone. They asked me, you know, they asked me, like, what the hell's going on here? And they're like, first stand him up. So I rolled over, they helped me stand up, and my dad pulled in the driveway. The worst part about this is everybody in my town has, you know, a radio for the police. Like, a lot of people have, like, a radio to see what, you know, is going on, if there's, like, a wreck or, you know, a drug deal, something. Like, they just like to be nosy about it, you know. So people here, like, you know, this residence, you know, there's a call about a shooting. You know, both the parents have been shot in the head. A lot of people, like, know my road, and my road's pretty popular, runs halfway through the town. They know our address and everything, so they go. And then the people that don't drive by and check out what the hell's going on. So I'm laying down on the ground, and you know, I'm laying on my stomach, so it kind of hurts to lay and lift my head up because, like, this part of my body was on the grass and my neck and stuff was on the sidewalk. It's like the most populated highway going through my town, you know, on my road. Like, literally, it's 11 o'clock at night on a Monday, and there's so many cars driving by. Like, this has never happened. But you know what? Everybody's just got to be nosy in my town. And if you step out my house, you can only see about 100 yards, maybe 200 yards down to the left, and maybe about 400 yards down the road to the right. And I guarantee you can see at least 3 cars if you're looking on my road. Either way, that's just how many people were on my road during this time. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna get so much shit for this tomorrow because everyone knows now. They've been driving by. And then when my dad finally pulls up and they actually stand me up, I turn around and I look, and all my neighbors are on their porch. You know, you got my neighbors over the right, they're on their porch. You got my neighbors on the left, they're looking out their window. You got my neighbors across the street, out on the porch, looking out the front door. I mean, everybody in my neighborhood was up and looking to see what was happening. So I was just like, you gotta be serious. It's Monday at 11, you know, 11:30. Why is everybody out looking at this? My dad pulls in the driveway, goes up and talks to the head cop that's actually running this whole, you know, like, throwdown. While my dad's, like, getting ready, they're in the house searching the house. They searched the house. They ran through, they checked everything, checked for weapons, they checked to see if there was other people in there. They didn't really, like, search everything, like, through my drawers and everything. They just kind of, you know, checked the rooms and checked the closets, bathtubs down in the basement, up in my room, in my closet, stuff like that. They told my dad what was going on, and my dad was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I didn't think this could actually happen. Well, then I had to inform them, you know, about what what was going on, how I was receiving threats on Twitter, stuff like that, and how I was in this huge competition, which is in FaZe, or like this huge competition involving FaZe. They didn't really fully understand what was going on and why I was actually getting threats and stuff, but I explained that all to them, and they understood a little bit more, but they just didn't really understand why I was receiving threats just from like a YouTube competition like this. So basically, they figured out everything was cool. They uncuffed me, they talked to me, they talked to my dad, they figured out what they can do so this doesn't happen again, and we have it all sorted out. The guy who's actually friends with my dad, who's the cop, which is Brandon, the one holding the shotgun, you know, the whole time, running the whole thing. If anything like this happens again, they don't send the SWAT team, they don't send the police officers, they actually call here first. So yeah, now I'm one of the special people who if something bad is at my house is happening, they actually call me before they send anybody, any ambulance, you know, fire trucks, cops, SWAT team, anything in that nature. So basically, they only sent one ambulance and 6 cop cars, and there was multiple cops in the cars. So there's probably, you know, I'd say 5 to 10, maybe a little more cops there with the ambulance down the road. I actually seen them pulling away, then we found out everything was alright. Me and the cop, Brandon, are actually cool. He jokes around because he was like, the next day I had to go in and talk to him, and he was like, if you played Battlefield instead of Call of Duty, this would have never happened. And I just like joked around, and I gave him my YouTube channel, and I apparently was gonna go check out some of my videos. Stuff like that never happens around my town, so it's kind of like it's very rare. So it's very rare for them to get calls like that. So now they call me first in advance. Brandon actually has my number, and if he's on duty, he calls me in advance, and we'll figure out what is actually going on. And actually now I've contacted every place in my town that delivers pizza, and now I'm off the delivery list. There's not one place in my town that delivers that I'm not on their delivery list, because I did not want any unwanted pizza unless people actually wanted to pay for it. But I got warned by a couple people that would happen. So the crazy thing is, right after I just got swatted, which is what they call it. Is this kid really setting up for this kid? I hope this is a joke. But basically, right after that happened, I go back on Twitter and I refresh my Twitter page, and right after that happened, and right after I managed to get swatted, Dirty was on live stream and he was getting swatted also. And when I say Dirty, I meant, yes, FaZe Dirty. FaZe Dirty got swatted about 10-15 minutes right after I got swatted. I actually got back in my house and situated and everything, and then he was getting swatted. And I actually talked to him, and his story is kind of ironic. I don't think he's doing a video on it, but he got swatted too, and it was kind of a similar thing. But he had it a lot worse. He actually had the SWAT team actually come to his house. And a couple of people knew in advance, like, on that night, if I actually, you know, I actually kind of posted it. And people were, you know, concerned. And I want to thank you for your concerns. Thank you for caring, you know. But that did happen like 2 weeks ago, so everything's like cleared up now. Nothing bad's happened since then. So a lot of people were actually wondering, so there you have it. I was swatted.